Good morning, folks. My name is Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I'll determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred, and more likely than not that you're the person who's committed that crime. Of course, as you stand before me today, I presume that you're innocent of these allegations. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the State Attorney's Office is able to prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning. That is your bail or bond. In most cases, you've had a bond set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit, or the warrant which led to your arrest. I'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be, and if you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have the right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you have not had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with me. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. And I need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn. Amen. Y'all solemnly swear, affirm, tell truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth? Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Christian Marvin. Morning, Miss Marvin. What's your date of birth?
4/24/86.
And Ms. Marvin, looks like you're currently on felony probation, is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. So we have several issues this morning. I have a trespass, possession of methamphetamine, possession of drug paraphernalia, and a probable cause arrest for a violation of probation. There is probable cause for all of those charges. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? Do you plan on hiring private counsel? Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, please.
I'm going to appoint the public defender on the trespass. I'll leave the bond per the schedule, which is $1,000. I'll have that one back on the 31st of October. On the meth and the drug paraphernalia, I'll appoint the public defender. I will leave the bonds per the schedule on those, which is $2,000 on the meth and $1,000 on the paraphernalia. And then send those back to court on the 16th of October. Looks like they told you the 26th. The right date for those is the 16th. And then finally, on the violation of probation, of course, the bond will be no bond. That means that you won't be able to bond out on any of your cases, of course. That case, I also appointed the public defender, and it also will come back on the 16th of October. The public defender will come see about all of your cases before you go to court, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Elizabeth Roundtree. Well, Ms. Roundtree, what's your date of birth?
7/5/65.
All right, charges grand theft. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what can you tell me?
2012 disposition guilty for paraphernalia, multiple probation violation references, a possession of paraphernalia in 2007, guilty, adjudication of guilt, marijuana possession, less than 20 grams, guilty in 2007. Guilty to driving with the license suspended in 2001, adjudication of guilt.
That's pretty good.
Thank you.
Elizabeth, I got an address for you on 687 in Webster. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About 2 months.
All right. Where were you before that?
Dade City.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
Set your bond at $1,000. We're going to have you back in court on the 26th of October. If you get out, you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Kim Candy?
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Kim. What's your date of birth?
11/23/1967.
Kim charges driving on a suspended license. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint a public defender?
I need a public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Opium, selling opium, guilty, convicted in 2014. Possession of hydromorphone, adjudication of guilt in 2014. Probation violation reference in 2010. Fraud, insufficient funds check, adjudication of guilt. And, Your Honor, that's all I'm showing.
Kim, I have an address for you on Fireside Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
3 years.
You have a job these days?
No.
Okay. Set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 31st of October. If you get out, make sure you go see the public defender right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Daniel Alley. All right, Daniel, what's your date of birth?
2/13/77, sir.
Daniel, I've warned for you out of Pasco County. Judge down there thinks you failed to appear on 3 counts, felon in possession of weapon or ammo, possession of controlled substance, and operating a tattoo establishment without a license or bond. That judge set your bonds on those charges at $100,013, $50,013, and $5,013 respectively, for a total of $155,039. Were you able to post those bonds? You could get out of jail here, take yourself down to Newport Richie, find out when they want you in court. If you're unable to post those bonds, we'll notify Pasco right away. I will give them 5 days to come get you. It never takes 5 days with Pasco, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5 days, they'll bring you back to see me, and we'll find out what the holdup is, all right?
Yes, sir, Your Honor.
Thank you. Good luck. Raymond Azadorian. Good morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
9/24/63.
Sir, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Angelitis. He found probable cause for 1 count of trespass. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
Your Honor, I'm not showing any Florida convictions, but I do see out-of-state New York convictions that are a little bit older. 1983, operating a vehicle intoxicated, first offense, no actually convicted for disorderly conduct in New York as well in 1985. Possession of controlled substance, convicted in 1985. Assault with intent to cause serious physical injury in 85, convicted. Disorderly conduct in 1986, adjudication of guilt. A 2000 burglary, adjudication of guilt. Multiple criminal contempts with no disposition. A 2005 assault, 3rd degree with intent to cause physical injury. No disposition on that, Your Honor. 2007 harassment with no disposition. A 2010 driving with under the influence with no disposition. And that's all I'm showing, Your Honor.
All right. Raymond, I have an address for you on Philatelic Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
About a month. At the place that I trespassed, I lived there.
Hang on. Hey, Raymond, don't talk about the facts, okay? Because I can't help you out with that. You're here on a warrant. Another judge made the probable cause determination, so there's nothing we can do except decide what a reasonable bond for you is and get you out so you have a chance to speak to your lawyer, all right?
Yeah. Can I bond myself out on the 3rd when I get my check?
You can, but you got to let me finish asking my questions, okay?
Oh.
All right. How long have you been in Florida?
About 2 years, taking care of my father.
Okay. And do you have any job other than taking care of your father?
No.
Okay. All right, I'm going to set your bond at $500. I'll have you back in court on the 31st of October. When you get out, make sure that you call the public defender's office right away, okay?
Yes.
Very good. Kyle Stonger.
Judge, you've got 26 days in, I think the record was 60.
Okay. Morning, Kyle. What's your date of birth?
9/3/92.
Kyle, you're hearing a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for a violation of probation. The folks at probation are recommending 60 days. You have, the public defender tells me you got credit for 26, which means if you took that plea today, you'd have about 24 days left to do, give or take. If you want to do that this morning, you can. If you'd rather have a chance to speak to an attorney first, you can do that, but I will point out that the court date is 33 days from now. If you take the plea, you'll be out of jail in like 24 days. If you don't, you'll be seeing me in 33 days. Would you like to admit a violation of probation and take the 60?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering an admission, you give up the right to have a trial to the court and the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to have a lawyer represent you, but you're willing to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
In case number 18MM1675, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the admission, find that it's freely and voluntarily made, revoke and terminate that probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charges. If that wasn't done before, sentence you to 60 days in the county jail, credit 26 days served. There'll be a $50 cost of prosecution and your cost of incarceration, but that takes care of it, Kyle. You just need to finish the time, all right?
All right.
Thank you. Good luck. Sean Kyle Blair. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
Your Honor, June 27th of the year 1981.
All right, charges battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'd like to represent myself temporarily, but I need a public defender. I'd like to speak to you, Your Honor.
Okay, you can't talk to me about the facts of the case, okay? I know you want to, but
I'm
you.
the victim.
Okay, see, I try. All that's happening here is that I'm presented with the information regarding your arrest. Okay, I don't know all of the facts and circumstances. I know the tiny little window that they gave me, and under those facts and circumstances, I'm able to determine that there's probable cause that you committed a battery. As I said when we started, probable cause means more likely than not. All right? In order to convict you of that charge, they'll have to prove that it happened beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt, a much, much higher standard. So all I'm going to do today is determine reasonable conditions for you for pretrial release. You may, in fact, be a victim. There may be all sorts of things going on here that I don't know about, but I absolutely can tell you I'm not going to sort that out today. That's going to get sorted out in the fullness of time here with your case. All we're going to do today is determine if you're going to be represented by the Public Defender's Office and what reasonable conditions of your pretrial release are. Are you with me?
Sir, yes, sir.
All right. So would you like the Public Defender?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll point to PD. State, what can you tell me?
I'm showing adjudication withheld in 2001 for a battery, manufacture of marijuana. 2002, adjudication withheld for possession of paraphernalia, adjudication withheld, obstructing or resisting an officer without violence, adjudication withheld in 2002, disposition for adjudication of guilt for battery in 2003, child abuse in 2003, disposition guilty, probation violation, disposition guilty in 2003, disposition guilty for battery in 2006, obstruct without violence, disposition guilty in 2010, and disposition guilty for a battery in 2018.
Okay. And Mr. Blair, I have an address for you on Patriot Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Sir, yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
5 years, sir.
Okay. Does Tammy live there as well?
No, sir.
Okay.
Not at all, sir.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I believe I still have 2 jobs, but I might be down to 1.
Okay. Tell me about the one you're pretty sure you still have.
I'm the head chef at the VFW Post 10209, sir.
Okay. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to set your bond at $1,000. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Tammy. What no contact means is no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message, you don't contact her through any social media. Don't have a third person contact her. Don't go where she lives. Don't go where she works. Don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you may imagine contacting her, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact and we find out about it, we can revoke your bond and hold you without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if she wants the contact. So if you answer your phone and hear her voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see her, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that she cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision she gets to make. She may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges. She may tell them she's not interested in pursuing this matter, but that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case, which will be me, tells you that the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped. In addition, we got to hold you today up until 4 p.m. so that if she wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. In your case, Sean, it's very important that when you get out, you contact the public defender's office. According to the assistant state attorney this morning, you have prior convictions for battery. That means the state may decide to charge you with a felony. So it's very important that you get a hold of the PD right away, okay?
Sir, yes, sir.
Very good.
My plan going all the way to the door.
James DeCono? 1031.
Yes, sir.
Morning, James. What's your date of birth?
10862.
James, the charge here is also battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to the charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I'm hiring private counsel.
Very
James
good.
Martin Brown will be my lawyer.
Okay. State what can you tell me?
No Florida convictions, Your Honor. He does have out-of-state history. It would be 1979 trespass with no disposition, a assault with intent to cause physical injury to officer, 1983 with no disposition, an assault third degree in 1986 with intent to cause physical injury with no disposition, a operating motor vehicle impaired by alcohol in 1988 with no disposition, criminal possession of controlled substance in 1988 with no disposition, and all this history is out of New York.
Okay. All right. James, you got an address for you on Harley Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been here?
29 years.
Okay. You got a job these days?
Yes, I own 2 companies in Hernando County.
Okay, what do
One
you
company's 29 years old, one company's 19 years old.
do? Okay, what sort of work do you do?
Flooring,
Okay.
installation, and sales.
Okay. All right, so James will set your bond at $500. Condition is that you have no contact with Mr. Russo. Did you hear me explain no contact a moment ago?
Oh, yes, sir.
And you understood
Sir,
that?
ask a question?
Just
Yes,
a
sir.
second. Let me get through my thing, and then you'll be able
Yes,
to
sir.
ask all the questions you
Yes,
want.
sir.
You understood my instructions about no contact, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Also got to hold you up until 4 o'clock, so if he wants to serve you with an injunction, we know where to find you. I'm going to have you back in court on October 31st. They might have told you the 26th. The right date is the 31st. What's your question, sir?
I can self-bond.
Absolutely. Any way you want to arrange it. Anybody shows up with the money or a bondsman with a bond, whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
There's phones
You're
there
right.
that you can use.
Yeah, Your Honor, I got my wallet here with the credit card in it. I like to bond myself out.
If the money's in property, I don't know about that. The folks at the jail have to talk to you about that. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
You bet. William Engel? William, what's your date of birth?
9/26/89.
William, I have 2 warrants here today. Both were signed by Judge Merritt. In each case, he found probable cause for violation of community control. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
I got a private counsel.
Very good. Who's your lawyer?
William Dayton.
Mr. Dayton, know where you are?
Yeah, well, I violated in Pasco too.
Okay. Very good. Then the bonds, of course, on these warrants are no bond. I'm going to have you back in court on the 16th of October. Make sure that you get a hold of Mr. Bond and let him, or Mr. Dayton, and know about your court date being moved to the 16th. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Stephen Hayden. Morning, Stephen. What's your date of birth?
10/11/69.
Stephen, I have a warrant for you out of Pasco County. Judge down there thinks you failed to appear on a charge of petty theft, and that judge sets your bond at $2,513. If you can post that bond, you can take yourself down to Newport Richey, find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, we'll give Pasco 5 days to come get you. If you're still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Franklin Roundtree. Want to start with your date of birth?
8/31/84.
Franklin, the charge is grand theft. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD, sir.
I'll point the PD. And state history.
Resisting officer without violence, adjudication of guilt, 2017, possession of controlled substance, disposition guilty in 2017, under Hernando County, disposition guilty for paraphernalia, 2014, possession of meth, adjudication of guilt in 2014, burglary, unoccupied structure, unarmed, 2012, disposition guilty out of Pasco, disposition guilty for marijuana purchase, Schedule 1, 2007, adjudication of guilt, cocaine purchase, 2007, disposition guilty, marijuana possession, 2006, disposition guilty in 2006 for paraphernalia.
That's good. That's good. Franklin, I got an address for you on 687 in Webster. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
2 months.
All right. You have a job these days?
No, sir.
Set your bond at $1,000. I'll move this to the 10th of October where your other cases are. And if you don't get out, PD will come see you before you go to court again, okay?
Sir.
Thank you. Paul Snyder? Morning, Mr. Snyder. What's your date of birth?
12/26/89.
Charge is burglary. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll point the PD, state.
Again, not showing any Florida convictions, but I'm seeing out-of-state history out of Pennsylvania, theft by unlawful taking, and criminal trespass to a building in 2001 with no disposition. Another theft with no disposition in 2010. And no other charges, Your Honor.
Okay. Sir, I have an address for you on Juliet Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
9 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No, sir.
All right. Set your bond at $1,000. I'll have you back October 26th. Very important that you contact the PD if you get out, all right?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thomas Ianello. Want to start with your date of birth?
6/13/85.
Thomas, you're hearing a warrant out of Citrus County. The judge that signed the warrant found probable cause for a violation of probation and set the bond at no bond. I can't change that. We'll let Citrus know that you're here and ready to go. I'll give them 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 with Citrus either, but if for some strange reason you're still here in 5, they'll bring you back to see me, all right?
Okay.
Thank you. Robert Stoops. Want to start with your date of birth?
11/4/75.
Robert. Again. First thing I have for you is a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. He found probable cause for a violation of probation. And I also have a warrant, this one signed by Judge Ruby. Apparently you failed to appear in her court on a charge of driving on a suspended license. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself and hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. On the violation of probation case, of course, the bond is no bond. That one will be coming back on the 16th of October. They may have told you the 26th. The right date is the 16th. And then on the misdemeanor, I'll leave the bond where Judge Ruby set it, which is at $1,000.
We're showing no bond.
Okay. Because someone at the jail wrote no bond. The warrant says $1,000. So if you look at the warrant, you'll see the right
I
answer.
don't have access to it.
So, anyway, and let's see. What's a good Judge Ruby date? 24th is trial week. I come back on the 17th. All right, I'll set the bond on that at $1,000, and I'll have that back on the 17th of October. PD will come see about both of those prior to your court date. The other issues we have for you, Robert, is I got 2 writs of bodily attachment. That means that a circuit judge and a child support hearing officer determined that you owed some child support, and they set cash purges of $477 in each case. Obviously, you're on no bond for a VOP. Were you working before you got arrested, Robert?
No, sir.
Okay, how long has it been since you worked?
It's been about 9 months.
Okay. All right. Then in these 2 cases, I'll find that you're not in contempt for your failure to pay child support, and you'll be released on those, but obviously you're no bond on the VOP, and you still have to deal with the trespass charge. PD is going to come see you before you go to court again, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
You bet. Good luck. Anything else, Joe?
No, thank you.
Very good. Have a good day.